So to make this heart, you're going to need a tape measure. You're going to need yarn. The colors you're going to use are black, red, green, and yellow. You're also going to need a crochet hook. I'll be using a 4mm hook. The yarn that I'm using is a lightweight yarn, so I'll be using a double strand. You can use a medium weight yarn. Just make sure the yarn is not heavy because we need the heart to be flowy. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to make the brim of the heart. So you're going to work from the brim going upwards until the middle point. So to make the brim of the heart, you're going to make a chain of 11. If you want your brim to be smaller, you can make lesser chains. The brim that I made, this is what a chain of 10 looks like. If you want it to be smaller, you can make a chain of 6 that you have only 5, half of this. After chaining 11, you're going to make slip stitches until the very end. You can use single crochets for the slip stitches, but then I find using single crochets that yes, it's fast, but then it is not as stretching. So on the next chain, you're going to make a slip stitch like that, and then another slip stitch on the next one. So you make a total of 10 slip stitches. When you get to the end, you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work, and you're going to do slip stitches in the back loop only. So you do 1 slip stitch in every stitch in the back loop only until you get to the other side. So when you see right here, this here is the front loop and the back loop. Then you do the last one, and when you get there, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and do the same thing. 1 slip stitch in the back loop only until you have a measurement that is equal to your head circumference, but then you're going to minus about 2 to 3 inches, because when you make it exactly your head circumference, it will just sit like this, but then when you minus like 2 to 3 inches, it will be able to stretch a little, which will look better. So the one that I did, this one is 17 inches without stretching. And then when I stretch it, because my head circumference is 21.5, you see it can stretch to 21.5. So I did 17 inches without stretching, almost 17.5, yeah, 17.5 inches without stretching. So work that brim, because this usually takes a little, almost an hour plus. So work on that, and then you'll come back when you're done with this. So when you're done, you're going to place them together like this, and now you're going to join the 2 ends. So you're going to join using slip stitches again. So you're just going to hold them together like this, and then using slip stitches, you're going to join this side to this side like this. Just as simple as that. When you're done with joining, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn it to the right side like that. After turning it to the right side, you're going to return your hook, and then you're going to work in half double crochet. So you're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch. So when you see this space here, this is a row, and then where it looks like it forms stitches, that's another row. So from here to here, those are 3 rows. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So where there's a ditch, that's a space, it's considered a row. And then here, this is considered a row, and this is also considered a row. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet in every row like that to make stitches, and you're going to do that all around. So you just make your half double crochet. So there's like a ditch, you do a double crochet, half double crochet, and where it looks braided, you do another one like that. So you're going to do that all around until you come back to the same place, 1 stitch in every row. So I did a total of 65 stitches, so that is 65. I'm going to slip stitch on top of the first half double crochet. I had a total of 125 rows, so I did 65 stitches because I skipped the middle ones. I skipped some rows. So after that, you're going to slip stitch with the red yarn, because on the next row you're going to work with the red yarn. You're going to slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1. So you're going to do straight rows. You're going to cut the black. You're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all round. So for the red yarn, you're going to do 2 rows, the yellow yarn 2 rows, the green yarn 2 rows, and then we go back to black. So it'll be just shifting like that until you get our 9 inches. So do 1 half double crochet all round with the red yarn and do 2 rows of this. 1 half double crochet in every stitch. When you're done with the second row of red, you're going to slip stitch and attach your yellow color. So after attaching, you're now going to do 2 rows of yellow. So just the same thing, 1 half double crochet in every stitch and do 2 rows of yellow. So I'm going to do 2 rows of yellow and 2 rows of green. So I'll meet you when you have 6 rows, 2 rows of red, 2 rows of yellow, and 2 rows of green. So I finished my 2 rows of green. After the 2 rows of green, you're going to slip stitch, and now you're going to use your black yarn. So slip stitch using the black yarn, bring it to the front, chain 1, and now for the black yarn, you're going to do the same number of stitches. You're just going to do working straight, and you're going to do 5 rows of black. So the same way we're doing 2 rows of red, yellow, and green, we're going to do 5 rows of black. So you go ahead and have 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch all around. This is the first row. You're going to do 4 more rows to have a total of 5 rows of black. When you're done with the 5 rows of black, you're going to insert your red yarn. chain 1, and then we're going to do the same thing. So whatever we did here, you're going to repeat it. You're going to repeat 2 rows of red, 2 rows of yellow, 2 rows of green, and 5 rows of black. So you're just going to repeat those rows. Make sure you pull the tails tight. So do a repeat of those rows, and then I'll meet you when you have those rows, so that we can do the decreases of the top part of the heart. So after finishing the last row there, so we did another set. So we are going to start decreasing so that we can work on the top part of the heart. So it depends on the number of stitches you have on top here. So you're just going to divide it by 10 because you want the middle part to be 10 stitches only. So let's say you have 70. If we divide that by 10, you have 7. Okay. So what you're going to do, you're going to start with 6 half double crochet, then you do a decrease. 6 half double crochets, you do a decrease like that. If you have let's say then 80, you do 7 double crochets and a decrease, 7 double crochets and a decrease. Let's say you have 50. If you divide that by 10, you have 5. You do 4 half double crochets, you do a decrease. 4 half double crochets, you do a decrease. So you're just going to work decreases until we get to the top part of that. So I'm going to attach my red yarn again. Attach it right there. And then chain 1. So I'm going to do, and it doesn't have to be like a perfect number. You're going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 half double crochets, and then you do a decrease. So to do a decrease, instead of yarning over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, insert your hook again to the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3, and then you do again 6, 3, 3, 4, and 5 and 6. So to decrease, insert, pull up a loop, in the next stitch insert, pull up a loop, you decrease. You can decrease in any other way. Now you have the second one, and then you just do that until the very end. So we are going to work 2 rows for each color. So I finished that first row over there. So if you are row starting with 8, if you're doing 8 half double crochets, then you do a decrease. The next one should be 7, then a decrease, 6, decrease 5, decrease 4, decrease, like that until you get to 1. For me, mine was 6 half double crochets with a decrease. So the next one is going to be 5 half double crochets, then a decrease. So I do 2 rows for each color. So next is still red. I do 5 half double crochets, 1, 3, 4, 5 half double crochets, and then I do a decrease, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5, and then I do a decrease like that. Then the next one will be 4, 3, 2, 1 like that. And then when you get to the end, now you're going to insert the yellow yarn. And you're going to do, now because the previous one you had done 5 half double crochets, then a decrease. Now in this row you're going to do 4 half double crochets. That is 1, 2, 3. I think I skipped one. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do a decrease, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, and you do a decrease like that. After that you're going to do a slip stitch, and then now in this next one we're going to do 3 half double crochets, and then we do a decrease. So 1, 2, and 3, and then you decrease, and then again 1, 2, 3, and you decrease. And then when you place the other yarn, you're going to do, now because the previous one was 3, the next one you do 2, so 1 and 2, and then you decrease, again 1 and 2, you decrease. And then now the next row you're going to do 1 half double crochet, and then you do a decrease, 1 half double crochet, and a decrease, 1 half double crochet, and then you do a decrease. So on this other row with the black yarn, you're only going to do decreases only, so you just do a decrease in every next 2 stitches. You do decreases. If you still have more rows, you can just continue with the black until you finish with the decreases. And then after the decreases with the black yarn, the last row is just going to be half double crochets without any decrease, like just half double crochets. Just going to do half double crochets all around. So this is the last row. Then you just slip stitch it on top of the first half double crochet, and then you're going to leave almost like 10 inches of yarn, just enough for you to be able to like sew on the very top of it. So after cutting the yarn, I'm just going to turn it on the opposite side. You can see we have so many ends to tie, and then you're just going to pull that yarn to the back, and you're just going to sew round here. So this space here, you're just going to move your darning needle back and forth from one stitch to the other like that. Then you can just move it back and forth until you have completely like closed that top space really nicely and neatly. You see? So when you're done with that, like just tie in all your ends whichever way you use to finish your ends. And we'll have our hat. So let's see how long this is. So from the very top to the end of the brim is 11.5 inches. From the top to where we started, the red one, is 9.5 inches. So if you manage to make this hat, you can show me your work by tagging me on Instagram or on TikTok at Happy Crochet, and I'd love to see it. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.